Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today this is the look that I created for you. I wanted to use the new Pat McGrath Decadence palette. On the inside it looks like this. It has 10 stunning, beautiful, amazing, pigmented, just gorgeous metallics in it, and I've had this palette for about a week or more, but I literally haven't worn makeup in like 2 weeks, so I just wanted to sit down and play with a bunch of new stuff, and I wanted to do a look definitely centered around this palette. So this is what I came up with. I wanted to use as many of the shades as I could just so I could sort of get a feel and play with a bunch of them. So yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think it's so fun to play with color, and it's definitely something that I don't do enough. But yeah, if you want to see how I get this look, then just keep watching. Alright, so I have zoomed you in so I can do my eyes. I have the Jaclyn Morphe palette here because it has like a lot of nice mattes in here, so I'm just going to take a couple mattes from here just so I can have some transition shades. So I'm just going to go in initially with this guy right here. I don't know what the names of any of these are, so I am sorry about that. But I'm just going to take that color and then use that really messily through the crease. So I have another blending brush that's a little smaller than the one that I just used, and then I'm going to take this shade right here, which is a really nice sort of like warm mid-tone brown, and I'm just going to use that through the crease as well, but maybe a little bit lower than the initial shade. Okay, so I think what I want to do is use this really beautiful metallic blue right here. It is called Lapis Luxury. So I think I want to take this like all over the lid. I have this little Pat McGrath brush here that came with one of her Metamorphosis kits. It doesn't have a name or a number on it or anything like that, but it's kind of similar in shape to the MAC 217. So I'm just going to take this first on a dry brush and see how pigmented it is, but I do have Fix Plus here if I want to really like amp up the color. So I'm just going to start off by just placing that sort of all over the lid. Ooh, so freaking pretty. Okay, so I have this Sigma E45 here, and I'm going to take the dark blue, which is called Underworld, I believe. It is this really deep blue on the other sort of end of the palette, and I'm going to take that just to deepen up the outer edge of my eye. And I'm sort of taking that, as I said, on the outer edge of the eye and making just a sort of circular like half moon shape on the outer edge, and then I'm taking that really lightly through the crease as well, and I'm just sort of building up the intensity on the outer edge of the eye. Okay, so what I want to do now is take this Morphe palette again and then use that Sigma E38 from earlier, and I'm just going to take that initial transition shade that I used. I'm going to put that on my lower lash line. Then I'm going to take that second transition shade that I used, the sort of deeper warm brown, and I'm going to use that as well on the lower lash line. Okay, so I'm just going to take this sort of like really orangey color right here on this side of the palette, and I have that on the Sigma brush, the E40, and I'm just going to really lightly start using that to buff out the edges of the blue. So I'm going to take the brush that I used that deep blue on, and I'm just not going to add any more color to it, but I'm just really lightly going to make sure that I have still a nice amount of depth on the outer edge and I didn't completely buff it away. So I still have to buff out this other eye, but I kind of want to do the lower lash line on this eye just to sort of see like where I'm going with this look. So I think I want to take this shade Inferno, which is this beautiful sort of copper color right here, and I'm going to use that on the lower lash line. So I have this pencil brush from Sigma. It is an E30. So I'm just going to take that and then use that on the lower lash line. So I think because that color is quite light, I'm going to take this more like reddish copper color, which is called Hedonistic. And I'm going to take that on the same brush, and then I'm going to apply that basically where I applied that initial shade, just so I can sort of deepen it up a little bit. So I took that red shade up towards sort of like where the blue ends, and I just sort of blended it underneath that blue because I am going to use a eyeliner, so the area where they touch will be covered by eyeliner anyways. I think I might use this gold color, which is called Gold Standard, for my inner corner. So I'm just going to take this Sigma E34, and I'm going to take that Gold Standard shade, and I'm going to try putting that on the inner corner of the eye. I actually, just to sort of test all the colors, I might take this shade here, which is more of like a true sort of old gold color. I think it is called Sinful, and I'm just going to take that on the same brush and then apply that to the inner corner as well, just over the initial gold shade that I used, just so I can really get a feel for a lot of the colors in this palette. How freaking fun is that? So I'm just going to do eyeliner on this eye just so I sort of can finish this eye off, and then I can do the other one off camera. So I have this Tom Ford eye defining pen. So this is that double-ended Tom Ford eyeliner that a lot of people really rave about. Really beautiful. It's quite a heavy eye pencil as well. So you have one side that has sort of like your standard felt tip liner, and then this side is a little bit more small, which is really cool. So I think I'm just going to take the bigger side to start off with. Okay, so I have this NYX Faux Black eyeliner in the shade Oxblood. So this is a really beautiful deep red. So I'm just going to take that and then use that on my lash line or my waterline. Okay, so I'm just going to repeat that on the other eye and then put false lashes off camera as well. So I will do that, and then I will be right back to finish off the rest of my face. Okay, so the lashes I applied were the iconic Lights from House of Lashes. The glue still has to set and everything, so I'm just going to move on to the rest of my face. So the foundation I'm going to use is the Dior Airflash foundation. I have mine in the shade 205. So I'm just going to spray a bunch on here. And then I'm just going to use a damp beauty blender and start applying that. I definitely want my skin to be really, really evened out, but I don't want it to be like too sort of full coverage and take away from the eye look. I still want to be able to see like my freckles and stuff. And I feel like this foundation is a pretty good sort of solid medium. You can definitely build it up to be a little bit more coverage, but I think just sort of with 1-2 layers, it's just a nice standard medium. Okay, so for concealer, I'm going to take my Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Light Neutral, and I'm just going to use a really small amount of this sort of underneath the eyes. Okay, so I'm going to take this Real Techniques sculpting brush, and I'm going to take the Natasha Denona Sculpt and Glow palette, and I'm going to take the contour the cream contour, and I'm going to use that to contour with initially. So I'm going to use that a little bit around the hairline as well. And then a little bit on the jawline. And then I'm just going to take a little bit on the sides of the nose. Okay, so now that I have done that, I'm just going to take a little bit of this RCMA No Color powder. This is also my first time using this. I got this in my Beautylish, what is it, the Lucky Bag. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that powder on a setting brush by Real Techniques. And I'm just going to use that to sort of lightly set underneath my eyes in the area that I cream contoured as well. That powder is really, really beautiful. It really smooths out the skin. That's beautiful. Okay, so I am now going to powder bronze. So I'm going to take this Real Techniques blush brush and the Marc Jacobs Tantastic bronzer just to add a little bit more warmth to my skin. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that on the forehead. And then sort of above the area that I contoured. Okay, and then I'm going to use the same brush for my blush. I'm going to use the shade Madly by Nars. It's a really beautiful sort of like warm apricot shade. You can build it up to make it a little bit deeper, but it's just a nice sort of light blush that goes with everything. And I don't want my blush to detract from the eye look at all, so I'm just going to put a little bit of that on the cheeks. Okay, so for highlight, I'm going to use Pat McGrath as well. I have the Skin Fetish in the shade Golden, so I'm going to take the Golden Cream Highlighter and just use a little bit of that to initially sort of set down on my cheekbones, and I'm just going to use my finger. And then I think I'm just going to take that same Real Techniques setting brush, and I'm going to use the golden, it's the Fine Gold 003 pigment. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that on this brush, and then I'm going to set down that cream highlight that I added. So I'm just going to repeat all of that on my Cupid's bow. Then I want to put a little bit on the bridge of the nose as well. And then I will take the gold pigment to use on my Cupid's bow and bridge of my nose as well. Okay, so I am going to put mascara on my lower lash line as well. So I have this Clinique High Impact Mascara. I'm just going to use this because it's what's in front of me. Okay, so I just have to do my lips and then I have to set my brows. So for my lips, I'm going to take this Sephora lip liner. It is the lip liner to go in the shade Pink Beige. And I'm just going to take that all over the lips. Okay, so for lips, I think I'm going to take the shade, what is this, Honolulu Honey by Nars. So I'm going to try that on and then see how I like it. So I want it to be like a little bit more nude, so I grabbed this L'Oreal and Balmain lipstick in the shade Urban Safari. So I'm gonna try that out. I'm actually gonna take a tissue and then sort of blot the color that I already have and then try adding a little bit of this. Yeah, so that's definitely a little bit more of what I was looking for. So I'm just going to take this Kokie brow gel and I'm just going to quickly use that to brush up my brows. Okay, so now that I have brow gel on, I'm just going to spray my face with MAC Fix Plus. This is the coconut scented mini one, so I'm just going to do that. Both of my lights have died, so I'm sorry if it's a little bit dark, but this is the finished look. I am really happy with how it turned out. I think it looks so fun. I definitely don't play with color enough, but it's so fun to just play with really bright colors and use a lot of different colors on the eyes at once. It's definitely something that I don't do enough. This Pat McGrath palette is magnificent. I don't think Pat McGrath can do eyeshadows badly in my opinion ever, and I actually love that all of these are just that beautiful like soft metallic, because you can supplement it with other mattes that you already have, but metallics are what she does so well, and these are all stunning colors. I'm so excited to play with this more. So yeah, I hope you guys liked the video. I hope you liked the look that I came up with, and if you did, please like and subscribe and have a great day or night wherever you are. Bye!